morning, my trippy hippies. It is Tammy coming to you live from my office, which is a hot mess. I am a hot mess this morning, but that is what it is some days. Good morning, Dennis. How are you today? Thank you for saying hello. As others of you jump on here today, please do me the same courtesy and say hello and tell me where you're watching from today. Um, I'm late for Sunday sermon. I know it's 11:07. In my little bird brain, it was 10 o'clock, which was time we go live, but I completely forgot the time change this morning, the hop ahead. So last night I did lots of chores yesterday. We had a snow day. So I decided versus just laying in my recliner and just being a bum yesterday that I was going to get up off the chair. I was going to be at home, and instead of being bored all day, I was going to get something done. So I got up yesterday, bummed around for a minute or so, had some breakfast, just chilled, looked out at the weather. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for jumping over here. Don't forget to say hello and telling me where you're watching from, as always. Then I went into my bedroom, and y'all, I got like the thing that has been causing me so much grief, the thing that has been nagging me. Anybody got one of those things around your house, like the chore that has been looking you in the eye and is like, I'm your captain now, right? I've had this bedroom chore of laundry. I am the world's worst. I will wash the laundry, I will dry the laundry, I will fold the laundry, but it will sit piled up on top of on any surface that it can sit piled up on in my bedroom versus being put away. So it stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks. And when I tell y'all I have not done it in a minute, like I still went through summer clothes. Like the bottom layer of like the stack was my shorts and sundresses and tank tops and all of that. So that will tell you how long it has been. So I spent the lion's share of my day yesterday sitting in my bedroom, and I recondoed all of my clothes. So I took everything out of all of my drawers, out of all of those surfaces, because here's what I was realizing. I'm like, you know what? I have not opened a drawer in months. I have not opened a drawer to get clothes out in months. It's all on these surfaces. So I need to go through and figure out what somebody else can use. So let me ask you another question. Give me some thumbs up and some hearts if you can you can relate to the like clothes situation, or if you have a chore in your house that is just like the bane of your existence, because I that was it for me. But when I was doing the clothes clean out, this is going to tell you how sad the state of the world is. I was like, I need to get rid of some of these clothes. I need to be able to like there's clothes that I'm not wearing with tags on them. There's somebody else who can be blessed with these clothes that need clothes on their back. And they're nice stuff. And I always think about like um if you are utilizing like a Goodwill, like is like that's your option, or like a clothes pantry or something like that, and people have to use those things. But I always worry about like people who are more robust like me having options, good, reliable options. So I always feel like I need to give my little chunky girl clothes away so that they have options, right? Because it sucks to go shopping when you're a plus size to start with, and if you have to go shopping in some kind of pantry or food bank or whatever, or a thrift store, if that's like what you have the money to do, then I want to make sure that like there are some like good viable like plus size options. So I'm like I always give my stuff to places that can help women and other people with clothes. But I was doing that, and I'm thinking to myself, what is going on in this world right now, right? Do I need to keep all of these clothes? Because if nothing else, it's going to be like resources and materials for when the world ends. Like I literally was thinking about like, okay, if we go into a prepper type lockdown situation in this world, And this is probably after I had like some Lucky Charms bars and some Crunchy Munchy because I did graze yesterday all day. I started realizing like, well, what I can't get rid of like this 1980s like Dukes of Hazzard T-shirt because in World War III it could be a commodity. Like that's what my brain went to, and I'm like, okay, Jimmy, stop it. You're gonna be okay. Get rid of the clothes. You do not need those resources right now. Like we have money to get. We have still have a lot of clothes. You will be okay. You're never, no matter what happens in the world, you're not gonna wear this outfit. So let's go ahead and donate that. Like I had to do that kind of talk. Like it wasn't just if it like Marie Kondoing it. I wasn't just like, did it spark joy? I was also like, does it spark joy or does it spark confidence that if the world ends, I have something that I can use as a resource? It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So that's where I was yesterday. And then we watched Netflix and chilled last night. For sure. We watched the new movie, The Adam Project. It has been one of those weeks where my live schedule has been off, so my week has been off. Good morning, beautiful folks. Good morning, folks. I'm not sure who that is. It says Facebook user, so if you can drop your name, that'd be awesome. It's a balmy 23 degrees in the Pocono Mountains. Is this Lisa Phillips? It is cold here as well. Um, we had some beautiful spring-like temperatures last week, and then winter came back yesterday, and the temperatures went from like 71. That was Lisa. The temperatures went from like 71 to like 17. So it's been ridiculous around here. But it is Sunday sermon. Y'all did not come to hear about whether or not I saved Dukes of Hazzard t-shirts for resources for the world. You came to hear about some feel good talks today. And here's what I want to talk to you about. So I've spent, good morning, Heather. So like I said, like what I did yesterday was one of those things where it has been nagging me. It has been nagging me and nagging me and nagging me. It's like I didn't want to go in my bedroom. Like I didn't want to go to bed early. I didn't want to be in my bedroom because it was such a freaking mess, right? I was avoiding my bedroom almost at all costs because, even like we talk about energy getting stuck in our bodies, right? I think it's because you have to give StreamYard permission to use your name. So it sometimes asks you to, if it has permission to use your name, and if you give them permission, then I'll be able to see you. Um, so just like I talk about, like when my body, like today, my body, I am swole up today, like really, really bad. Like I can barely bend my fingers because they're so swelled up. I've got like swelling into my shoulder. Which it happens. It's the weather changes, the arthritis, the barometric pressure, the amount of use that I have done with my hands. I have been busy, busy, busy. Though this month has been insane. So it's going to be some inflammation, right? It's going to be some stuck energy. So when I talk about how like disease or it's comes from the Latin dis-ease or dis-ease in your body, and I always talk about how like you can tell where like there's something that's stuck, and so I always talk about like for me, like if I have like pain in my body and it's like like deep pain in my shoulder, not only do I try to like I'll like okay it's arthritis, it's bursitis, but let me see if there is a connection, a spiritual connection to where energy gets stuck in that area. I know a lot of y'all probably know about your chakras, right? Crown, ajna, throat, heart, all going down the line, right? Probably should go up the line from base, sacral, all that up. But we're going to go down, right? Now, when your throat is burning, like I have people that tell me all the time, like, hey, so I need to move some energy because my throat chakra is on fire. And if it doesn't get, this energy doesn't get moved through my throat chakra, then my throat's going to burn out, right? So it's the same thing. So if I have like pain in my arm or pain in my leg, or I get a twinge in like I have some specific like throb, like where it pays attention or draws my attention to that area, I will also like look up and do research on like the emotional or the spiritual meaning of that hurt. And a lot of times people come to me for their elevated treats, and we talk about like why do you utilize edibles, right? What is your familiarity with cannabis? I'm going to give you an example. Yesterday, I was talking to Ellie Coyle about about a clearing yesterday. Yeah, that's what I kind of did, right? I want to talk about, so I'm going to bring this back around. So when I have customers, and I have a lot of y'all that come to me for fibromyalgia, I have a lot of you that come to me for IBS, a lot of IBS. I have a lot of people who have an autoimmune like MS or fibro or RA or lupus, and it's all over body pains. And I'll say, I'm like, okay, where is the pain in, yo, I'm on live. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Where is the pain right now? Like, where is it really like resonating with you? Like, I understand that you hurt all over, but is there a specific place in your body that maybe is more acutely, tinging than the other ones, right? Is it the hip today? Is it the leg today? Is it the shoulder? What is it, right? Headaches, what's going on? And then I will do that work on the back end. So someone's like, my hips have been killing me, blah, blah, blah. I'll go in and figure out, like, spiritually or emotionally what could be connected to the hips. And then when I stir in medicine, I also talk about moving that stuck energy. Well, just like in your body, energy gets stuck, right? Just like in your body energy gets stuck and you get these pains and dis-eases, right? Where you live is the same way. Your environment is very much in tune, right, to energy. And when you have places in your house where like old things sit, right, or you stuff and you stick. And for me, I've been talking about the last couple of weeks about hearing the source and hearing my angels, guides, and helpers whispering in my ear, physician, heal thyself. Practice what you preach. Those are messages and things that are like synchronicities that are coming up for me to do the work that I need to do to rest, relax, and to take care of me, right? I started taking some downtime. I started unclearing energy, all the things. But another thing that I'm going to tell y'all that I have heard over the last 6 months, and what I have been saying and talking to people that I talk to, like not just online, but like that I pay to talk to, it's been about clear the clutter. That has been a message that has been coming through to me a million times over. A million times over has been clear the clutter, clear the clutter, clear the clutter, right? Now, I want to ask you this question. How many of you have said recently or have said ever, and I want you to answer this question. There's only 3 of y'all watching, I know, but I still want 3 of y'all to answer. So number 1, I want you to do me a little favor. Tag somebody in the comments real quick. Tag a friend in the comments for me. And then here's what I want to ask you. How many of you have been like, okay, once this happens, then I'll be able to do this, right? If this, then this. Do you have something in your life right now that you're saying, like, if this happens, then I'm able to do this, right? But for, right? The but for thing. And the clear the clutter, the clear the clutter, the clear the clutter that's been constantly coming up in my head, right? It's this, and this is the message I got, and this is the message that I'm going to share with y'all today. I have been saying, right, I need more space to be able to do more things because I am working with limited space. And as soon as I get more space, then I'll be able to expand and do the things that I want to do, right? But for the space issue, now clear the clutter has been saying to me, it's like you have room, you just have to make room for the growth, right? By clearing out the clutter, you make room for the growth. Because needing room sometimes is not an actual physical thing, right? Sometimes the clutter is inside of us, right? Sometimes we're cluttered, right? Sometimes we can see clutter, right? I can see clutter over here as a physical manifestation of clutter. There's stuff everywhere, right? My bedroom, right? My bedroom had clutter. It had stuff everywhere. It's a physical manifestation of clutter. But just like whenever you have a energy stuck, something that you're dealing with internally, right? Maybe it's self-doubt or loathing or shadow work or, ego or whatever the issue may be. And then it physically represents itself in some type of pain in your body. Normally when you're feeling stuck in your environment, it manifests itself as stuck clutter. It's places that you avoid in your house. And that's why talking about the Peace, Love, and Feast Fest in April, about doing something beautiful for the world, because not only are our homes a reflection of who we are, our cars, any of our physical spaces, right? I'm in the process while packing. It's an awful task. So Heather says, sure do. I'm flying home on the 17th just to do a 5-day purge. Lisa says, and the process while packing. It's an awful task. Yes. It's because we are putting off today what we can do tomorrow, right? And sometimes the thing that we need to do just needs to be done. Or outside clutter indications. Yes, 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 exactly. So if your life is feeling cluttered right now, right? If you are feeling overwhelmed, and that's how I kind of that's a good like metaphor for overwhelmed is clutter, right? If you're feeling cluttered, because that's what I feel when I feel overwhelmed, right? When I feel like there's a lot of things happening that are outside of my control, I feel like my energy space, my world is cluttered. There's lots of things that are like just in the way. They're not hurting anything, they're not helping anything. They're just extra things that are just causing small little inconvenient obstacles in your life. That's clutter, right? Clutter's not dirty, clutter's not clean, clutter's not anything. Clutter's just clutter, right? Tell me something right now. Tell me one thing right now that you could declutter in your life. One thing you could like that's just it's not good, it's not bad, it's not serving, it's not serving. It's just kind of in the way but not really, right? We all have those things. And if you think about the clutter in your house, the little catch-all places in your house, right? The little buckets and baskets and things that you just clutter things into, little places we just store and stick stuff away, right? When you look around, and that's what I was thinking, clear the clutter. When I cleared my room out, you don't have any indication of the energy that changed in my bedroom. Now, what happens in your bedroom, right? Think about what happens in your bedroom. There are obstacles to intimacy. There were obstacles to being close to my spouse and sleeping next to my partner because there was clutter in my bedroom. Um, I am going to go corner by corner, right? Um, Room by room, and we're going to start decluttering. And here's the thing, it's easier when you start decluttering in here, right? When you start realizing my purse for sure. Yeah, my purse is definitely a clutter monster. And we all have our reasons for it. If you think about what your clutter is and you look around your house, I want you to think about like how it directly relates to you in your life experiences, right? Now, I did not grow up as a wealthy person, right? I never really had to worry about not having, but I always was acutely aware of what it was costing. Like I have never not known how hard my parents have had to work to give me the things that I wanted. I have never not known the fact that if I want something, then it's going to take hard work for it. I appreciate things because I understand the man hours that go into them. I see my mom. Um, okay, you should see me now. Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you, right? Like I have always been acutely aware of that. So whenever I invest money in something, so that's another thing, right? I just don't buy a lot of like nonsense, like things like I have to really like. I'm not like an impulsive like big picket purchaser. Like when you see like things in my house, like expensive things in my house, I thought about that purchase. Like I don't just go out willy nilly buying stuff. But when I buy something, because I'm acutely aware of the time and attention it takes to buy it, I am very hard to let go of something, even if it's no longer serving me. Even if it's clutter, it's because that fear of lack, that fear of not having, right? That fear of I had to work really hard for this. How do I let it go, right? It comes from a place of not having like just wealth as a child, I think. And I'm interested. Interestingly enough, like I still like people will say you grew up poor, and I'm like I did not, because I feel like that sounds sad, right? The word poor to me sounds like you grew up sad. That's the inclination that I get from that word. And that's me, right? That is just me. That's a thing for me. There's no judgment. I don't yuck anybody's yum. But when people say you grew up poor, right? To me, the word poor is a low vibrating word and it sounds sad. And I did not grow up sad. I did not grow up wealthy, right? But I never missed a meal. I never had to worry. My power was never cut off. I never had to worry about where I was going to live. I never didn't have clothes. I never didn't have good shoes. It was never like that. We just didn't grow up where I could go out in any shape, fashion, or just buy whatever I wanted at any moment, right? It was always a discussion. I have a dumpster coming. My husband and I agreed if we haven't touched or seen it in a year, it's finding a new home. Now, Heather, I'm going to say this. I'm going to put this back up here. I want to say this. I love that. Do you not think that I said that? I said that yesterday. There's still like a little, I go down from like a whole bunch of mess, to like a little bit of mess, to like a little bit of mess. And I say that. And then it was like yesterday with these, I got this bag done, but I still kept a few things that I probably shouldn't have, only because I was thinking about what if I need this resource, right? I grew up financially challenged, but needs met. Yes. And even some wants, right? We had Christmas, we had birthday parties. It was just not like some people who never had to know. And I feel like that's the difference. I feel like nobody's ever going to say that they grew up affluent. I mean, unless they grew up really rich and they just don't have any kind of care for money. Most middle class people will not think that they grew up rich, right? They will not, nobody, I don't know anybody. If anybody on here can tell me I grew up affluent, I would love to hear it. I know some people who I felt like grew up affluent, but they would never say that. They would never believe that about themselves, right? For some reason, we put this stigma on having a lot as well, which is crazy to me. But um, for me, I just feel like there's a difference. There's some people that grew up understanding, like even as a child, like, you knew that the reason we might not get through a drive through, it might be because we don't have the money today. Like there's a time I was like, we don't have the money to go to McDonald's today, y'all. We are going home, right? We're going home. Like we always thought, because for us, like we lived in rural Virginia. And if you're from this area, we grew up in like Downriver Road in Cumberland. So if if you're in a rural area, we would say we're going to town, right? You're going to Farmville, you're going to town was a big deal. And if we went into town, we would expect to go to get a Happy Meal or something, because we didn't go to town that often. We really didn't. We didn't like go in to like do those things on a regular as little kids. And we were acutely aware that our parents worked and they were struggling with money, and it was always something that was on in my mind. Like I heard them arguing about money. I knew that money was the thing that would make them fight, because my mom would go to work to make sure that Christmas looked like everybody else's Christmas, whether, my dad could pay the bills. My dad worked on a farm, right? All of our things were covered by that, but it was not like he made $1 million a year. My mom always did extra work around the holidays, and she liked to work. She wanted to be out of the house anyhow. And it was a lot more of my life that she was outside of the home, because I was the oldest. So whenever I went to school, my nanny watched my brother and sister. She went to work. But I always knew my mom would want to shop. My mom wanted to buy things. My mom did grow up with money. My mom grew up not having to worry about money like that. So she never understood not being able to go and just do, right? So she would, and that was also like, and y'all know people that do this, people who are depressed, who like to spend to make themselves feel better. That was my mom. So her and my dad were constantly fighting about money. And talking about this just came up. This is so funny. So my mom worked at this little convenience store, and it was like the little local meeting spot, like the local good convenience store had the good chicken and potato wedges. If you're from the South, you know what that means. And back in the 80s, the first kind of like introduction of any kind of metaphysical stuff started happening with these 900 numbers. Does anybody remember the 1-900, like Miss Cleo, like the psychic hotlines? Does anybody remember those 900 numbers? It was like $3.99 a minute and $1 each minute after that. Do you remember those like infomercials that would come on, like call about your psychic future kind of thing? And they would like read your fortune over. Like it was the kind of the first idea of card readings, but you had to call into a 900 number. And people laugh now about the money they spend for this. But I'm like, y'all spent like a lot of money on those psychic hotlines on the 900 numbers. So my mom was determined to get her fortune read, and she was like, it's better to ask for, and long distance at the time, and it was, the phone bill was never one of those things. We had to pay our long distance, so it was never one of those things where we had to like stress, because like, do not make long distance calls. And so when my dad gets the phone bill and it's like hundreds of dollars, and this is back in the 80s, that was like $1,000 phone bill now, right? Y'all know, understand that, right? Yes. So my dad gets the phone bill, and my mom is at work at this little convenience store, and he calls up there just raising hell, like, what the hell? Which one of the kids did this shit? Blah, blah, blah. He's like looking at the date and time. He's like, who was home from school on this day? And mom's like, what do you mean? He's like, I got this phone bill. Obviously, which one of the kids was home and messing with the phone? Because, my dad's mind, my mom would never, as a grown up, spend that kind of money. It never was in his brain that um that we would that she would do that. And so she said, she tells a story, she used to tell a story and make you laugh your face off. And she was like, I didn't want to get any of y'all in trouble. She's like, because for a second it went through my brain. So my dad had called the phone company and said that the kids are playing on the phone. He raised holy hell about it. So my mom's like, it wasn't the kids, it was me. And he goes, what? He's losing his mind. She's like, we'll fight about this at home. So she comes home. I was home. I remember this fight just verbatim. And she told my dad that, is interestingly enough, that she would have two great loves in her life, right? She would marry once for love and once for money. And so he was like, well, I don't have any money, so apparently I'm the one for love. But if you could find that motherfucker with money, I'd appreciate it so he could pay this phone bill for you. Y'all, I thought I was going to die when my dad said that to my mom. Sorry, y'all. I'm in a nightgown, so I put on my cover up so that I can sit here and be comfortable today. But he's like, we need to find out when you're married for money, because he needs to pay his phone bill. And then my dad called the phone company and told them that it was one of us, and he had the 900 numbers blocked on our phone. We had to pay like $1 a month or something to block the numbers, and they took it off because they would give you like one free pass with kids we'd never called before. So, and to get that taken off the bill, you had to add that 900 block. So my dad had it taken off the bill and got the 900 block, and my mom never got to figure out who that second one was. And my mom did have a second husband. And funny enough, out of the two husbands, my dad was the one for money. And I felt so bad for my mama. It's like, Daddy was the one for money. I'm so sorry. It's like, he has more money now than he ever. I mean, he does well for himself. He has grown into himself. But back then, my mom was definitely his comeuppance. But it's just, that's funny. Like, out of her two husbands, like, it was hilarious. And the second husband adored the ground she walked on and like treated her like a princess. So it's funny how that works out, and how when people have their fortune read and what they think and what actually it means can be, how it actually plays out, because a lot of things are not as verbatim as you think. But and I always think about this. My mom was not a hoarder. And my mom grew up with money. My mom grew up having money, but that's all. My mom did not grow up with a lot of like emotional love. So my mom had a lot of things in the house. Her clutter was our trinkets. Her clutter was things that said, I love you. Her clutter were things like hugs, right? That was the clutter that she kept around her, like our handmade stuff. It was never about like any kind of clothes were not it, makeup was not it, jewelry was not it. It was those little things that are like sentimental things. So when you look at the clutter in your life, right? My clutter comes from like, being acutely aware of money. So when I buy something, I don't want to ever get rid of it. I have shoes that I've had forever because I know the kind of hard work that goes into owning them. Look around your life, right? Look around your life and figure out where the clutter is. Figure out why the clutter is. Because here's the thing. Most of the time, you figure out the why, you figure out the how. Abundance is not always money. Abundance most of the time is never money, in my opinion. Right? To me, abundance is never money. Abundance is having more love than I know what to do with. And that's what's interesting, right? Is that Um, my clutter does not tend to me to say abundance. It says to me hoarder. And I mean, considering some other people's clutter, I probably don't have the amount. I had a lot more. Every time I've kind of gone through like a leveling up, I have got clean clutter. So this time I've got one bag out of the bedroom going to Goodwill. I have my mom used money and things in place of her and her love. See, my mom was always about um, money doesn't matter, right? She'd love you to pieces, feed you to death. She'd feed you and love on you, but she was not one to throw money at anything. And she used to get really upset with people who would throw money at things because she grew up with money being thrown at her, right? Private schools and uniforms and, well, you have a piece of jewelry, so you don't need a hug from me. So my mom grew up, I mean, with her, it was very much the opposite, right? And I think that that's also probably why they fought over money so much. It's because my dad was like he worked so hard to have things and he wanted things. My dad wanted stuff. And my mom was not able to save to be able to do the things. My dad wanted to build wealth because he never had it. And my mom wanted to like make everybody happy because she was never happy. And as an adult looking back at that, and we can say those things and it's a safe space and it's not like that was like the constant struggle, but that is the overall shadow work that I have picked up for my family. Like that is like what my breakdown has always been for my family. It's always been mom had money but not a lot of love, and dad had a lot of love but not a lot of money, right? So how they kind of intersected was interesting, right? And it was interesting for me because I had to learn how to navigate that, and that's why I'm an empath and why I pick up on the emotions and all the things, because you grow up in those things and that's how it is. And being the oldest child, my mom required sorry, my internet's being weird. Being the oldest child, my mom's like, I never knew unconditional love. And we talked about this before. Like, the biggest regret of my life and the saddest thing that I think has ever been is that I know that my mom never loved herself the way she should have. Like, it breaks my heart that I know that she is in a different bodysuit now. Her soul is somewhere else trying to learn that karmic lesson of self love. And I hope in this next lifetime or wherever her soul and spirit is right now. And I know I'll be back in contact with it in another lifetime. And I hope in that lifetime that she can, step into her power and love herself the way she should. But for me, it was always about proving myself to my dad that I was a hard worker and could make money and that I was never going to be, and that's my dad says all the time. He's like, of all my kids, you're the only one I don't worry about because I built wealth early. Like I showed my dad, like, money's not hard. Money's easy. You just stop chasing money. If money's how you measure abundance, that's easy. It really is. If you truly think about it, right? If money is your only goal, if getting paid is your only goal, right? Um, if money is your only goal, is it hard? Money's only hard when you put all the other things that go along with it, like work-life balance and morals and like kindness. If you're one single-mindedly single thought, single track mind is money. It's not hard. And for the early part of my life, it was about making that money, making that paper, right? Making money, making money, making money, making money. I chased it. I chased it. I chased it. I said, making money is not hard. Keeping it's a hard part, right? But when you add in work-life balance and you add in morals and you add in energy alignment and doing what's right by the collective versus just what's right by you, money gets very complicated. So for me, I stopped measuring success, right? I stopped measuring things by what it cost. I have what it cost fit, like what the dollar amount cost, right? Because I think that things can cost $1 as far as monetary things, but they can cost you so much more emotionally, right? And I'm not willing to go emotionally bankrupt for $1. So Heather says that her husband never had anything as a kid, so we have tons of stuff we probably will never use. I've been working with him to put his worth. Yes, so that's the thing with my dad. My dad was, I want the biggest TV because I feel inadequate growing up with money, so I want to make sure that I have the biggest, baddest everything now. And I just that's not me. I always have my needs met, but I don't need to have an excessive amount of like the newest tech. or the flattest TV or the smartest TV or the most expensive sofa. I really did like, I feel like I have a good balance between the two. I just hold on to things longer than I probably should because I understand the value of them. Like I'm going to get the best thing for the best price. And I'm going to always like look for the best quality for the best bottom line price. And that's kind of how I roll. But today's message is really going out and talking about finding the places and clearing the clutter in your life, making room for the abundance, however that looks, making room for it, right? Because, how can I grow if I have these areas of stuck energy in my room? If I have energies of stuck areas and stuck stuff in my, this stuff is no longer serving me. Blessing and releasing energy in your house is just as important as blessing and releasing energy throughout your body, right? It's just as important because, and it talks about peace, love, and feast fest. It talks about like your house, your car, your outs, your yard, but your hometown, right? Your earth, where we live, right? It's so important, and that's what the meditation and healing the earth that day entails. Now, this event may not be some like 2,000 person festival. It's not the intention of it because that's not who I am. I'm not about a big show. I am saying Peace, Love, and Feast Fest can happen everywhere you are. Heather Johns, it can happen in Key Largo or Toledo, Ohio. No matter where you are on that day, we will take a moment to all at the same time, collectively. We could do it online, even via a Zoom, and we're going to meditate and raise the collective vibration of the earth on Earth Day. If you are not in this area and you're out in your area, find something you could do in your area that is a beautification project. Plant some flowers on that day. Plant some trees on that day. You should have your you'll have your April showers box. April showers are going to be bringing May flowers, so we're going to have wildflowers in the April box to be able to plant. So April showers, you're going to shower out the seeds, will bring May flowers. So hopefully in a month you'll have some flowers growing. So that's kind of the idea of the April box. We are going to give one away for free. Today I am going to be updating the menu. Adding some new items for St. Patrick's Day. We have 3 things we're adding to the menu this week. It's funny how this came up. I have not been comfortable with my bedroom for years. Now that you mentioned this, where all the junk ends up, got to start there first. Yes. And I'm going to tell you, like, wherever the energy is stuck, like, think about what happens in your bedroom and think about the intimacy and think about the conversations that you and your partner have in your bedroom and how those things are not happening or they are strained because of the clutter. Bedroom's a very important place to start. Kitchen is my next office. We've got so much to do, but progress is better than perfection. And if the whole room makes you scared, then go ahead and pick a closet. If a closet is too big, pick a drawer. But I'm going to encourage you today to start somewhere with decluttering how your life looks, right? But again, it's all about clearing that energy, clearing. And here's the thing, like I'm inflamed today, right? But I don't feel stuck today, right? I feel I feel much lighter. Like even last night, my husband's like, he's like, the bedroom just feels lighter tonight. Like it feels airier. I was like, it does. He's like, I like it. I was like, me too. And he already worked on his half of the room. Like his half of the room was done. And I had to redo my half of the room. Like we have little rugs. We have a hardwood in our bedroom. So we have 2 little rugs that we step onto when we get out of bed. And those were washed. It's the only thing I forgot last night was to put our rugs back down. But anyway, it is almost 11:45. We're going to go ahead and start our weekly crystal card affirmations. This is going to help us get through the week. This is St. Patrick's Day week. I'm going to update the menu today. I'm also going to put pre-orders for t-shirts on there. Once I get 25 of those pre-ordered, I can place the order. So know that I will collect the money, and then within a couple of weeks, your shirt will be ready to go. It'll ship out to you. As soon as it gets here, no problems. This one, we go ahead and start taking pre-orders. That just jumped out. But I don't think that meant that a whole bunch of them jumped out. My hands just don't want to work. So we're going to go ahead and pull our crystal affirmation card to see what messages we have from Source this week. Some journaling ideas, some ways to some affirmations for the week to kind of like kickstart our week. So what I want you to do for me today is you're going to do what I say all the time: is smell that birthday cake, hold it, and then blow out the candles. 2 more of those deep breaths in, hold, and release. Relax into your normal breathing pattern. This card is going to be for the collective of the group. Lisa says, Tommy won't let me have a TV near our house. He says he's going to teach me how to sleep. You know, I sleep so much better with nothing on in the bedroom, but my husband has to have the TV. So when he goes to sleep, I cut it off. Or I hit mute because I think he just likes the light. Interesting. Adventurine today. Adventurine. This is create your own luck, right? Create your own luck. And this is a green card. It's interesting that we have St. Patrick's Day coming up this week and this green stone hit, right? And this green stone hit on St. Patrick's Day week. And it's all about the luck of the Irish this week. And all of the snacks I thought about were about creating your luck. And so it's interesting that in the bedroom, yeah, it's interesting. I know what you meant, by the way, Lisa. It's very interesting that this one came out. Create your own luck, because all the snacks that I was looking at were like get lucky snacks, right? Or get lucky snacks. And Adventurine is the card today. Here's what Adventurine says, right? Here's what Adventurine says. Lucky starts with you. Simply by changing your energy, you have the power to shape your own fate. The first step is to align your thoughts, beliefs, and energy with what you want. Once you are fully aligned, you can attempt the opportunities you desire to accomplish your goals. Like a magnet, you can set yourself up for the best possible outcome in any situation. Your luck is not coincidence, it is your own creation. And, you know, this goes into today's conversation as well, right? It talks about by changing your energy. And again, energy is infinite. Energy is never like starting and finishing, but it's changing. It's ever transforming. And I took all of that stuck energy and unstuck it, right? I created my own. If I get lucky in the bedroom, it's not because I got lucky. It's because I changed the energy in the bedroom, right? Right? Does that make sense? About changing your energy. It's about like making even the flow of energy through my room doesn't get stuck in those little obstacles and those clutters, right? Clutter's not good. Clutter's not bad. Clutter's just a small, inconvenient obstacle that things have to go around. It takes longer, right? Clutter to me, this is what came in just now. It's about ebb and flow, right? But it's about like a clutter is about going around your elbow to get to your asshole. Anybody ever heard that saying about going around your elbow to get to your asshole? That's what clutter does, right? It requires your energy to go around its elbow to get to its asshole. Don't make it do that, right? The first step is to align your thoughts, beliefs, and energy, right? So if your thoughts are in check, right, you know that you believe it and you are doing it. Now it's a manifestation of the energy, right? I want you to manifest that energy of it. So you have to live in the knowing of the luck, right? Luck is when opportunity and hard work kind of like hit together, is what I always say, right? It's about whenever you've manifested things and you've done the work. I talk about how opportunity sometimes shows up as hard work and people don't want to do it. That's how you create your luck, right? That's how you create your own luck. That's how the adventuring energy comes in. It's whenever you recognize, right? When you recognize, yes, you did. Yes, you did. That's got to be Miss Cackman, Jennifer, who sent me. I bought a bracelet from her, right? A Reiki infused bracelet with the green adventuring. So I said intuitive pick. So that's awesome. So here's the thing, right? Luck is not about just, oh, it happened to me. I'm so very lucky. It is about being in the right place at the right time, in the right mindset to receive the luck, right? People don't realize that. You manifest luck. Luck is not just happenstance. Luck was when the stars aligned because you put the work in to receive your blessing. You understood that sometimes opportunity looks like hard work and you put the hard work in. And then when it all pays off, people say, aren't you lucky? Tammy's so lucky. No, ma'am, I'm not. Even if your name gets drawn out of a hat, whatever things you did to get your name in the hat, you still created that luck. You got to be in it to win it, right? You got to be in it to win it. Hang on a second, because I feel like. Give me a second. I got to pull something in here. Woo! I'm on fire. I'm on fire. Sorry, y'all. How do I know that things are the right message? When I start sweating from my back. I had to cut the fan on. I'm like super hot, right? But that's what adventuring is telling you, right? Adventuring is telling you that when all of the things align, you create your own luck. Core questions, right? Do you believe you are lucky? Do you believe you're lucky? Yes or no? Yes or no? Easy question. Yes or no? No right or wrong answer. Just yes or no. Like if somebody said right now, give me your first response answer. If I said, Heather, are you lucky? Jennifer, are you lucky? Lisa, are you lucky? Dennis, are you lucky? Whoever else is out there watching, say hello and tell me what you're up to today. Tag somebody. Are you lucky? Right? Do you feel lucky? Yes. Heather says, I feel lucky, right? Yes. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If somebody says, are you lucky? I'm like, I won't say if I'm lucky. Yes, I love it. Yes, yes. Claim that luck, right? Because you have the ability to be lucky. You have the ability to create your own luck at any time. Like a magnet, you can set yourself up for the best possible outcome in any situation. Your luck is not coincidence. It is your own creation, right? Luck is your own creation. So if you said no to that question, if you're sitting at home, you're like, I'm not answering because I do not feel lucky. I am not lucky. I am just not lucky. It's not who I am. I'm not going to put myself out there. I don't want her putting my name on the screen and calling me. I'm not going to answer with no, I do not feel lucky. Right? What areas of your life do you think you can use a little infusion of luck, right? And that's what you think about, right? Think about that. Think about where you could use some infusion of luck. And how do you stay open to those opportunities, right? How do you stay open to those opportunities? I'm open, ready to receive, and I expect miracles. That is what I'm talking about, right? That is what I'm talking about. And the affirmation this week, I love that one. I would say, let's go ahead and do that one, right? The best affirmation this week, it says, I am a magnet for good fortune. At the end of the day, identify one lucky thing that has happened to you. And I'm going to encourage y'all to do that this week, right? I'm going to do that this week. I'm going to do that this week. I am going to affirm I am a magnet for good fortune. I'm a magnet for good fortune. I am open and ready to receive, and I expect miracles in my life, right? I want, I will, I am. The best affirmations, right? I want, I will, and I am. I love these affirmations, right? But at the end of the day, when you're journaling, I want you to write down one lucky thing that's happened to you this week. Add that to your journaling list, right? What is one lucky thing that happened today? And then I want you to go back and I want you to look at the things that you said you were lucky in. Some things that you said you were lucky in, right? And then I want you, right? I want you at the end of the week to then figure out how many of those things did you directly work for? How many of those things did you manifest? How many of those things did you create that luck? And then you'll have a better perspective. And sometimes that's all it is, y'all. That is all the hell it is. It is not about things being any different for whether you've heard this message today or you didn't hear this message today, but it's making you aware of it so that you can step back, have the perspective of you're right, right? It just takes sometimes looking for the synchronicities because a lot of times we don't look for those. We don't realize that those synchronicities, I'm going to tell you one that came up. I told this the other day. I'm going to tell it again. I took some time off, physician heal thyself, right? And I was feeling some kind of guilt around it. And then the next day, everything just worked out perfectly. All the numbers added up. Everything was like even. Whoopie pies, exactly the amount of whoopie pies I needed, plus a couple of extra, right? It's like the feeding of the mass. It's like I made a double batch and it made a double and a half batch when I did it. The same amount of measurements, all the things. The double batch made more than I thought it would, which gave me a few extra, right? Which was great. I had a few extra. We actually got to eat. I didn't get to. He got to eat one, the second batch. But the candy wrappers were the exact number of candy wrappers. The caramels came out exactly the amount of caramels I needed. I mean, to the dime. I sold out of everything this weekend, exactly what I needed to sell out of to make everything fresh for Monday. It was no leftovers in the house this weekend. There was a bag of Crunchy Munchie that I had last night. Wasn't even in a bag yet. But it was one of those things where when you start listening, right, to your angels, guides, and helpers, when you start heeding all of the messaging, when you start realizing the synchronicities, when you start honoring yourself, when you start decluttering your life, when you start making room, clear the clutter, clear the clutter, right? When you start saying that's not good, it's not bad, it's just not serving, so let's move it out of the way, your blessings come faster, right? That flow of energy is better. You get in flow, right? The ebb and the flow. I don't want to ebb as much as I want to flow. So let's get this ebb out of my way. Let's get this clutter out of my life, right? And I started with one room. It might be a week before I have the energy to do another room, but I started. And progress is better than perfection. So find something today. Pick a spot that's going to clear your energy out. I will post here in a little while the updated menu for the week. I've got some new things going into the menu. There are some specialty cakes that will be listed if you did want a cake. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of, I haven't gotten mine, but dreamt about them. Everything is out and about and on its way to everybody. So if you have not gotten your order, you should have it no later than Monday, maybe Tuesday if you were a weekend delivery. I am going to be in Richmond on Monday morning. I'm getting up and going to Costco. I'm going to start by, this is the first week that I can actually go and buy all of my supplies for the rest of the month in bulk. I worked everything down to do that. So I'm 100% going to work all of that down in bulk and work buying all that stuff in bulk. And I'm going to be at the store Monday, and then I'll be back in the kitchen on Tuesday. I've got butter made. I've been making butter all weekend, so I'm ahead of the game. So it's easier to get things done this week. I'm super excited about that. So on that note, I am going to get off of here today. I'm going to go and unstick some more energy around my house, update this menu, post that in the group, get the new pictures on there. I'm thinking about doing a St. Patrick's Day party box with the treats that we have, the new treats. So keep an eye on that. Again, it'll be posted. I want y'all to know I appreciate y'all so very much. Feel free to invite your like-minded birds of a feather friends, 420 friendly, over the age of 21. Don't yuck anybody's yum. Those kind of people, be glad to have them in here. We'd love to see them. If you are a female person over the age of 18, we do have an opportunity in October. We have 2 spots left for our Woo Woo 101 retreat in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. They have payment plans. I know Heather's joining us. So excited. I know Sarah, who might be on here, might not. She's joining us. Gina's joining us. Melanie's joining us. So many people are joining us. I hope that you will as well. We have 2 spots remaining, payment plans available. Message me if you're interested. And on that note, have a great Sunday. Spring forward. We're going to have more daylight to all of you people who hate the dark. We're in the daylight. We're on the other side of that. Have a great day. Thank you for all that you do. I appreciate y'all being part of the Grateful Fed community. And I am going to be back. Yes, I saw that. I got a message from Carly from Costa Rica saying Heather John sent her payment. Please mark it. I was like, got you. So on that note, y'all, have a beautifully blessed day. As always, peace, love, and feast. Peace, love, and feast. And go out and stay elevated. I appreciate y'all so very much. Have a good one.